interfaces, correct? Interface came into existence to achieve standardization. Fantastic. One interface can have any number of implementations. Interface is used to achieve the pure abstraction. Using interface type of reference, you can actually achieve loose coupling. Hence, you can achieve polymorphism. There is where you have stopped. Yes. Example number 1. Example number 1. Example number 1. See, say supposing I have one interface like this, maybe. This is how you represent an interface. Interface name is calculator. What is calculator? How are you differentiating it? How this is looking? Like a class called as calculator. Some difference should be there, no? Interface is represented in a pair of gullimates or gullimates is what we tell. This is called gullimates or gullimates, whatever you want, you can call it. So, if at all you have a rectangle box, in that you have a name, that name is enclosed within the pair of angular brackets. It is called as a interface. So, you have an interface called calculator. What I will do is, I will have one method called as multiply like this, which is public void multiply, void multiply, and void div. Should I give body? I should not give body, because interface is after all used to achieve pure abstraction. At least in abstract class, you can have a method body, but in interface, you should not at all have a method body. It is not permitted. So that is what is pure abstraction. Anyway, now what I will do is I will write two classes. One class maybe is my calculator. One more class maybe is my calculator 2. What is my calculator 1? Class. What is my calculator 2? Class. I would tell my calculator 1 will promise to give body to calculator methods. Now, whatever you are seeing here, promising to give body, that only technically we will call it as implement. Like how James Gosling gave some methods, Mull and Div. Oracle people, MySQL people, Sybase people promised to give body for that methods given by James Gosling. That is what it is. That promising only is called as implements, and implements will always be shown like this in the dotted line and the arrowhead pointing towards interface. Extends would always be shown in the solid line. That is what is the difference between extends and implements. Here also, my calculator 2 will promise to give body to calculator interface. Now, because this fellow is promising to give body to the interface, remember, both these methods will come and sit here. Whether you want it or not, as soon as you tell my calculator 1 implements calculator, the two methods would come and sit here. Void mull. Now, you might tell, sir, if that method is coming and sitting here, it is inheritance. No, sir. Correct, inheritance only. Inheritance only, but forceful inheritance and forceful giving the body. Maybe in the normal inheritance, inheritance will happen, but no one will force you to give the body. No one will force you to change the body for that matter. If in a class you have a method in that you have a body, inheritance will happen. No one will force you to change the method definition. If you want, you can change. If you don't want, you need not change. Correct? If you will not change, it is called as inherited method. If you will change, it is called as overridden method. Here, no option. You are writing a class and you told of the class implements interface. No other option for you. Methods would come and sit here. You have to give the body to it. If you will not give body, compiler will not accept. That is what is the meaning of implementation for that matter. Anyway, void. Div also you have to give body. That is what is implements. Here also I have to tell void mul void div. If you carefully look at it, here method is there without body. Here I have inherited by using implements and I am giving the body. Don't you think so? It is looking like method overriding only. Method body is not there, method body I am giving. It is literally looking like method overriding only. For that matter, it is overriding only. But just because this is a class and this is an interface, we will not openly tell it as overriding. We will tell it as, for the first time, we are giving the body to the method, or this class is implementing the methods of this interface. Like that we will tell off. But what is happening is overriding only. Okay, sir, fine. Interface is there, two class is there, both the class are implementing from one interface called as calculator. What next? The same thing I may will have to convert it to code now. And we have to see many rules associated with interfaces. Maybe this is how I have to convert this diagram into code. Carefully watch it. I have an interface called what now? Calculator. Till this point, whatever I have written in your Java is only class. Nothing else I have written, if you can see. It is always the class I have written till this date, from the day I started coding. From the day I started coding till now, I always written only one thing, which is class. Nothing else I have written. For the first time, you are seeing a new entity altogether, which is a interface. I am telling, I have an interface called as calculator. It is not a class, rather it is a interface. Inside that interface called as calculator, I have one method called void mul without the body, void div without the body. That is what you have. Mul method you have without the body, div method you have without the body. Interface I have coded, work is over. Now I have to code the class. This is that class called my calculator. One, what my calculator one is doing? It is implementing calculator. Means my calculator one implements. What now? Calculator interface. Now, as soon as I tell implements calculator interface, I have told you both the methods will come and sit here. For that, I have to give body, no other option. So both methods came and sat here. I will tell void mul. Maybe here I would tell int a equals to 10. Int b equals to 2, int c equals to a multiplied with b, system.out.println c. This is the body I am giving for mul. Similarly, for div also I have to give body. This is void div. Maybe into A equals to 10, into B equals to 2, into C equals to A divided by B, system dot out dot println C. This is the closing of the div. That is the opening of the class. This is closing of the class called as my calculator 1. Completed. Similarly, I have one more class called my calculator 2. This is that class called my calculator 2. Is it extending calculator or implementing calculator? Implementing calculator, I would tell implements. What now? Calculator interface. Now, as soon as I tell my calculator 2 implements calculator, means my calculator 2 is promising to give the body to all the methods present in calculator. As soon as it promises to give body to all the methods of calculator, both the methods will come and sit here. I am forced to give body now. No other option I have. I have to give body here. Void mul. Maybe here I would tell scanner scan equals to new scanner of system.in. Maybe I would tell system.out.println enter 2 numbers. By seeing this message, user will enter the 2 numbers. I will collect it by telling scan dot next int, and I would store it in A. Not only that, scan dot next int, and I would store it in B. Here I would tell int z equals to x multiplied by y, system dot out dot println z, closing the mul method. I have to close the, I have to give the body to div method also. This is void div. Here also I'll create the scanner object. Scanner scan equals to new scanner of system.in. I would tell system.out.println enter 2 numbers. User will enter the 2 numbers. I would collect it by telling scan.nextInt, and I would store it in a variable called as A, which is of type integer. I would collect one more number. I would store it in B by telling scan.nextInt. Not only that, I will actually have to perform division, but before performing division, I would check if at all the value of B is equals to 0. If value of B is equals to 0, I will tell system.out.println idiot. How can a number be divided with 0? Else, if it is not equal to 0, here I would tell int z equals to A by B system.out.println z, closing the else, closing the method called as div. Closing the class called as my calculator 2. Now what I will do is I will write one flexible method. We know how to write the flexible method. Not only I would write the flexible method, I will keep that in one class also, maybe like this. This is that class called math. Inside maths I would write, because math is one inbuilt class. Here I would tell maths. Inside the maths class, I would write one method which is public void accept, which would accept what now? Very good. Calculator type 1 reference REF. What is calculator? Calculator is interface. Of course, the reference of type interface called as calculator can be created like this. Like how reference of type abstract class can be created. The reference of type any parent class can be created like that. Reference of type, the interface also you can create. No problem at all. Here I would tell ref dot mul ref dot div. This is the closing of the method. This is the closing of the class called as maths. Maybe to instantiate this program, I will have one more class called math app. Inside this class, I will have public static void main, which would accept string of args as parameter inside the main method. Now, inside the main method, first I will create the object of my calculator. Okay. Before I create the object of my calculator, can I create the object of calculator? Can I create the object of calculator? Why? Very good. Interface is used to achieve pure abstraction. Abstract class which has concrete methods only you cannot create the object. Interface which compulsorily will have only abstract methods. Can you create the object? Like how abstract class objects cannot be created, interface object also cannot be created because it is used to achieve pure abstraction. Hence, what I will do is I will create the object of my calculator 1, maybe like this. Why I have to create the object? Directly I'll create the object of math or maths. Maths equals to new maths. And I would tell maths dot accept. What he has to accept? For the first time, he has to accept the calculator 1. Hence, I would tell accept new my calculator 1. I've created the object rather than storing it in one reference variable, you know. Directly there only I'm creating and I'm sending. I'm reducing the number of lines of code. This we have seen it already. Multiple times we have seen. Anyway, again I would tell maths dot accept. For the second time, I will tell new my calculator 2. That is the opening of the main method, closing of the main method, closing of the class called as the math app. Program, you know, output if I will ask also, you will tell off. That's a different story altogether. Correctly you see it. Interface is used to achieve standardization. Say, I have 10 calculators. 10 calculators I have. My calculator 1, my calculator 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. If I want to multiply, what should be the method name? Mul only. Because you have told my calculator 1 implements calculator. These two methods will forcefully come and sit here. No other option. For that only body you have to give. You cannot change the method names. Not possible. So, mul and div will be standard for all the calculators. Point number 1. Point number 2. One interface can have any number of implementations. Yes, not only that. It depends on which calculator is implementing it. For example, look, what operation is going on here? Multiplication. What operation is going on here? Multiplication only. But how multiplication is happening here and how multiplication is happening here, both are different. But what operation is happening is multiplication only. No change in that. What operation is happening here? Division. What operation is happening here? Division only. But how division is happening there? How division is happening here? Both are different. In different ways, you can have implementations. The same thing James Gosling, Oracle, MySQL, DB2, Sybase also did. James Gosling told you have to use get connection for getting connection. You have to use get result for getting the result. But how to get connected with Oracle? Like this. Oracle people have written a code. How to get connected with MySQL? Like this. MySQL people have written their own code of getting connected to MySQL database. Maybe Sybase people would have written their own way of getting connected to Sybase DBMS. That is what I told. This code, James Gosling cannot decide. That code would be decided by particular DBMS vendors. I'm just correlating today's example with yesterday's example. Why James Gosling did not code? Because how you will get connected to Oracle is different from how you will get connected to MySQL. It is different from how you will get connected to Sybase. How James Gosling should research on all and he has to give the code. Similarly, here also, how multiplication is happening here is different from how multiplication is happening here. Here, people are not taking input. Here, people are taking input and multiplying only. Multiplication in different way. Division in a different way. That is what is the meaning of one interface can have multiple implementation, different types of implementations it can have. Any doubts with this? An interface type reference can be created. No problem at all. An interface type reference is used to achieve loose coupling. Correct. I have created interface type reference, but what I am passing? Child class objects reference. What I am passing? Child class objects reference. Ref. For the first time, what it will connect? Reference of my calculator 1, which is child class. Ref. Second time, what it is collecting? My calculator 2's reference, which is the child class. Look at it, the hierarchy, look at it. Parent is interface, child is classes. This type reference is collecting this reference. This type variable is collecting this reference, this object's reference. So parent reference to child class object. Parent reference to child class object is loose coupling only. Yes, if you have loose coupling, polymorphism can be achieved. If you have polymorphism, flexibility also can be achieved. Code compactness also can be achieved. We have achieved it and only we have written the code. We have achieved it only and we have written the code. Flexibility also we have achieved. Code compactness also we have achieved. I hope first few rules of interfaces is completely clear. It is used to achieve standardization. It is used to achieve pure abstraction. The interface type reference, by using it, you can actually achieve loose coupling and you can achieve polymorphism. Not only that, in an interface, you will have the abstract methods and you cannot create the object of an interface. Any doubts with this? First, let us see whether it will execute or not. Then maybe you can copy the first example. The same code is typed here. See, this is interface called calculator. If you want to create an interface, first of all, show the package explorer. If say you want to create an interface, you have to right click and tell new. What you have to create? Interface, not class. Which option? That option. Right click, new interface. You have to give the interface and create it. That is how he has created. Cancel. That is how he has created. Mull and div it has. We'll go to my calculator 1. My calculator 1 implements calculator interface. Bring the cursor there near Mull. cannot reduce the visibility. Go to, yeah, we'll change it. Go to the calculator, change it to public void null. There also, div also public void null. Everywhere make it public void null and div. Done, over, leave it. Look at it, public void null and public void div. This is how multiplication is happening, this is how division is happening. We'll go to the next one. My calculator 2. Here also you have public void null and public void div. Why is it so? I would tell you, don't worry. That is the last rule. It is also implementing calculator. Say it is implementing calculator and you will not give body. Select everything from here and cut it, Control X. Control X. Look at it. If you tell this is the class my calculator 2 that is implementing calculator, and if you simply keep quiet, he will not allow you to keep quiet. He will tell, no, this is not possible. What he is telling you, see? Bring the cursor there. He is clearly telling you the type my calculator 2 must implement the inherited abstract method calculator.div. If you give body to div, it will ask again. No, div is not sufficient. Null is also there. For that also you give body. Like that he would tell. What is the proof, sir? Just click on this, add unimplemented methods. Look at it. He's clearly telling you null and div, you have to give body. Giving body is nothing but overriding. There you don't have body, here you are giving the body. Means some change is there in the method definition, overriding only. Control Z. Control V. Done. I've given the body for null and div. Work is over. We'll go to the math class. I have the flexible method and we'll go to the math app. Right click, run as Java application. $20 and $5. Correct? For the my calculator 1, 20 and 5. 10 2s are 20. 10 by 2 is 5. Execute it. Okay. Enter two numbers. Maybe I will tell 10 and 20. What is 10 into 20? Enter. Enter two numbers for division. I would tell 10 by 5. 10 and 5. Enter. Answer is 2. I hope I am completely clear about the first 5 rules of interfaces. Any doubts with this? Brilliant. What you have written? You have written some points. Yes, you have written some points. Example and copy this. Below that, note and continue. Note and continue. An interface cannot be instantiated. An interface cannot be instantiated. An interface cannot be instantiated. What do you mean by instantiation? Object creation. Correct. Next. The implementing class. Next note. The implementing class can partially implement an interface. Can partially implement an interface. Provided the class is declared as abstract. Provided the class is declared as abstract. Carefully watch this. Say I have an interface called as calculator, and I have a class called as calculator1. Calculator1 implements calculator, I told. Means what? Calculator1 is promising to give body to the methods present in calculator interface. Now, as soon as you are promising to give body, both the methods will come and sit here. Your duty is to give body for both the methods, correct? Say, I will implement like this. I have the calculator interface. I have a class called as calculator1 that is implementing calculator, but fully I am not implementing it. What is full implementation? Two methods are there. For both methods, body I have to give. If I will not fully implement, for only one method I would give. Is this okay? It is okay, provided you declare this class as abstract. Why? Why? Because two methods came and sat here. One method you have overridden and given the body. Other method is like that only. Div is like that only without body. Any method without body is called as abstract method. So here, actually you have one method with body, which is overridden. One more method which is inherited without body used as it is, which is abstract method. If a class has at least one abstract method, you have to declare the class only as abstract. So a class can actually partially implement an interface, provided you make the class only as abstract. If you are not making the class as abstract, no other option, you have to fully implement it. You have to fully implement it. If you are making it as abstract, partial implementation is permitted. You tell me. Now can I create the object of this class and call mul method? Why? Because the class is abstract, that object I cannot create. I hope I am completely clear. Any doubts with this? Below that. Now read those 2 points, example, and copy this as it is. Completed. Next. Say, just an assumption, I would not declare the class as abstract. Then what should I do? Give the implementation for div, correct? I'll give the implementation for div. Void div. Here I would tell int a equals to 10, int b equals to 2, int c equals to a by b, system dot out dot println c, closing the div. Not only that, say I will have one more method in the same class like this. This is that method called void add. Int a equals to 10, int b equals to 20, int c equals to a plus b, system dot out dot println c. One more method I would have. Void sub. Of course, I certainly have declared everything as public. Hence, this is public only. Everywhere it is public only. Public void mul, public void div, public void add, public void sub. Int a equals to 10, int b equals to 5, int c equals to a minus b, system dot out dot println c. Closing the sub, closing the class. Now what I will do is I will have one more class written to have the main method. This is the class called calculator app public static void main, which would accept string of args as the parameter inside the main method. Now inside the main method, I would tell I will need the new calculator one object to be created, whose reference I will collect it in ref, which is of type calculator. Is this permitted? Permitted? What object I am creating here? My calculator. In what type reference I am collecting? Calculator. What is my calculator one? Which class? Child class. What is calculator? Parent. So parent type one reference variable, can it refer to child class object? What is that concept called as? Loose coupling or upcasting. Is upcasting not permitted in Java? Then why are you telling no? Everything you accepted, yes, 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 but you told, sir, this is not permitted. Why this is not permitted? Whatever you are seeing here, this is parent reference to child class object, which is nothing but upcasting. Directly I am doing, that's it. Indirectly I did previously. This side also my calculator one, calculator type ref, whatever is there in, my calculator M1 equals to new my calculator 1. Calculator type ref, whatever is there in M1, give it to ref. In 3 different statements I would have told. Now in one statement I am telling parent reference to child class object only. Whatever I was doing in 3 different steps, in one step I am doing. Maybe if you are getting confused, you know, this is what I am telling. This side I was collecting it in MC, which is of type my calculator 1, Then I would have told calculator type 1 variable ref I need. Whatever is there in MC, what is there in MC? Address of my calculator 1. Give it to ref. Like this, I would have told 100 times. Now what I did? Why 3 lines? This can happen in 1 line only, like this. Calculator type ref, referring to child class object. Okay, sir. Next what? If I will tell ref.mul, what will be the output? Ref.div, what will be the output? Ref.add, what will be the output? Ref.sub, what will be the output? That is why revision is important. If you will not revise, like this only answers you would tell. Very good. Mul and div, no problem. Whatever the answer you have told is right. Add and sub, we have a problem. What problem? Parent type reference cannot access the specialized methods of a child. Add and sub became specialized methods now. But my question is, can we have specialized methods in my calculator 1? Public void div is okay, I have it. Along with this, I have 2 more methods which I have written just now, which is public void add and public void sub. Can you have it? You have to carefully see. You have a class that is implementing calculator. Implementation means promises to give body for all the methods present in calculator. He is giving body. Along with giving body for that methods, can I have specialized methods? You can have. Who is stopping you? You can have. Along with the inherited method, along with the overridden method, specialized method also you can have. No one is stopping you to have. You can have it. Of course, you can have parent reference referring to child object also, but parent reference is of interface type. That's okay. Parent is interface. That's the only difference we are feeling. But parent type reference referring to child class object is permitted. Parent type reference accessing overridden methods is good. Parent type reference accessing the specialized methods is not possible. Either the parent is a class or the parent is an interface. Parent type reference cannot access the specialized methods of the child. If it actually has to access, then what you have to perform? Downcasting has to perform. How do you downcast? Ref, which is of type calculator, momentarily convert it to what now? My calculator 1. By using that, I have to call add. This is how you have to access. Same thing we have seen. Nothing new I am teaching. Whatever I have taught by using classes, now by using interface I am teaching. That's it. Ref, which was of type calculator, has to be downcasted to something called as my calculator 1. By using that, I will have to access the sub method, which is the specialized method of the child. That is the opening of the main method, closing of the main method, closing of the class, called as calculator app. Any doubts with this? Really, will it happen? Really, that class can have specialized methods? Really, should we downcast? And if downcasted things, will it work? Let us see. Share the screen. This is Mullen-Div interface in the calculator. My calculator 1 is a class which is implementing the interface called calculator. It is giving the body to Mullen-Div, no doubt in that. But specialized methods called add and sub also I have. No error it is giving means a class which is implementing an interface can certainly have the specialized methods. If we'll proceed ahead to calculator app, calculator ref is equals to new my calculator 1, parent reference child class. Accessing the Mullen-Div directly, no issues. Accessing add and sub directly, remove that comment. It certainly has an issue. It will give you an error. What is the error? Bring the cursor there. Undefined method. Method as is undefined for calculator. So parent type reference cannot access the specialized methods of the child. If you will comment it back. By downcasting, I'm accessing like that. If I will right click, run as Java application, addition result, subtraction result, multiplication result, division result, like this you would see. Any doubts with this? Below that. Parent interface type reference. Parent interface type reference. Parent interface type reference. Parent interface type reference can access only the implemented method. Can access only the implemented method. Implemented methods, I'm sorry. Only the implemented methods, in bracket, overridden methods. Overridden methods. Close the bracket. Overridden methods, close the bracket, of the child class. Of the child class. Sometimes we'll tell it, I mean, we can tell it as child class also, or we can tell it as implementing class also. Because my calculator 1 is implementing calculator. So implementing class, child class, all are same with respect to interface and class relationship. Anyway, what is that I've dictated? Overridden method of the child class, full stop. Continue. It cannot access. It cannot access the specialized method. It cannot access the specialized methods. Full stop. If specialized methods has to be accessed, if specialized methods has to be accessed, then downcasting has to be performed. Then downcasting has to be performed as shown below. As shown below. Copy it. One question: if a class is implementing an interface, will the methods be inherited to the class or not? Yes or no? Yes, it will be inherited, but the class will be forced to give the method body or method implementation. So that point you should always have very strongly in your mind. Otherwise, you will get confused between extents and implements. You will get very much confused if that point is not in your mind. So if you tell extents also, inheritance will happen. If you tell implements also, inheritance would happen. But with respect to class and interface, if you are working, it is implements. With respect to class and class you are working, it is extents. That much of clarity we'll have, and we'll proceed ahead. Say, just an assumption. I have one interface. Called calculator 1. Is this an interface? How it will become interface? Have gullimates. In this, I have a method called as add. The same thing if I want to code, like this I can code. This is that interface called calculator 1. In that I have one method called public void add. Correct? Say I have one more interface like this. This is calculator 2. That is also an interface. In that, I have one method called as add. Different interface, method called as add. Same thing if I will want to represent it in the code, then I can represent it like this. This is that interface called calculator 2. In that I have one method called public void add. Any problem till now? Now what I will do is I will write one class called myCalculator. That is a class name. So the same thing if I want to write here, I can write it like this. This is that class called myCalculator, and I would tell myCalculator will implement calculator 1. So here I would tell myCalculator implements. What now? Calculator 1. There I would not stop. I would tell it will implement calculator 2, comma, calculator 2. Forget about calculator 2 for time being. If myCalculator 1 implements if myCalculator implements calculator 1, means what is the meaning of it? It has to give body to add, correct? So I'm giving the body to add. Public void add. Simply here I would tell system.out.println addition one dummy body I am giving. And if I will tell the class will implement calculator 2, what body should I give? Add body given. Is it okay? Before you tell okay or no, first of all tell me, how many methods are there in calculator 1? How many methods are there in calculator 2? Now tell me, how many methods are there in my calculator? Okay. How many methods are there in my calculator? Now is it permitted? If you will check the code, the same code is typed here. This is interface calculator 1, which has only add without the body. This is interface calculator 2, which has only method add without the body. This is my calculator. It implements calculator 1 and that side. Show them the full code. Calculator 2. Any error it is showing? No error. Oh, if it does not have any error, then if I will continue the code like this, I will have a class called as calculator app. Because it is not giving me any error, I am continuing. I have a class called as calculator app, public static void main, which would accept string of args as the parameter inside the main method. I'll create the object of my calculator. Can I create the object of my calculator? My calculator m equals to new my calculator. Then I would tell m dot add. That is the opening of the main method, possibly closing of the main method, closing of the class. What will be the output of this program? Output is addition. Okay. Any error? Right click, run as Java application. The output is addition. Okay. Now I have few doubts. You told in my calculator, I have one method, correct? Of course, when I told I will close this, this is not there. Now my calculator has one method. Which is that method? How are you telling it? Because it has inherited. This is also inheritance only. This is also inheritance only. Yes. Can a class inherit from multiple entities? Why no? It is working, no. Even after seeing the output, you are telling no. It can, provided the entity is not a class. Multiple inheritance, is it permitted in Java? Yes. But not by using classes, rather by using interfaces. Multiple inheritance only it is happening there. Multiple inheritance is literally permitted in Java by using interfaces. Sir, what about diamond-shaped problem, sir? That much build-up you gave that day. Diamond-shaped problem, confusion, ambiguity, like that and all words you have used. Today, no diamond-shaped problem. No diamond-shaped problem. No diamond-shaped problem. Who told there is diamond-shaped problem? Sir, extends object. Who told? Did I tell? No. When will you tell extends object? If it is a class. Is this a class? So no extends object. No extends object. Interface does not have any default parent. Class has a default parent. Interface does not have any default parent. I did not tell it. If you have assumed, that is your problem, not my problem. But interface does not have any default class called as object. So there is no ambiguity. So there is no diamond-shaped problem. Now few students might ask, sir, ambiguity is there? No, sir. What ambiguity? What ambiguity you have, you tell me. I will resolve. Confusion is there. If you have, you tell me, I will resolve. What was the ambiguity there? Sir, from this side also you are getting a value, from this side also you are getting a value. Which value? Was a big confusion, correct? Now also few students might ask, sir, this class should give body for add. Should give body for add, no sir. Correct, it is giving the body for add. Sir, which add? Whichever that you want, you think that add. Whichever that you want, you think that add. Now I will tell this add only. Sir, then what about this add? This add only. Sir, what about this add, sir? This add only. How does it matter? How does it matter whether it is this add or this add? Ultimately, the add which is present here, that only you will call. Yes, because body is here only. This add you cannot call because you cannot create the object. This add also you cannot call because object is not there. You will call the add present in this. What this fellow will think, you know, this fellow will think, child is implementing my add only. Like that he will think. What he will think, you know, child is implementing my add only. That is my add only. So this fellow child will be fooling. Your add only, don't worry. Your add only, don't worry. If this fellow is asking, he will tell your add. If this fellow is saying your add, don't worry. Ultimately, for us, the users, it is add that has to be called. Add we are calling. Parent is also happy. Child is also happy. User is also happy. No confusion at all. Literally no confusion. Fully managing. I hope I am completely clear about multiple inheritance with respect to interfaces. Below that, a class can implement multiple interfaces. A class can implement multiple interfaces. Full stop. Full stop. Continue. Multiple inheritance in the next line. Multiple inheritance is not supported in Java. Is not supported in Java through classes, but it is supported, using interfaces. Example. Copy the example as it is. Few more rules are pending. Maybe how many rules are over? If I can count the lines that I have dictated separately. First 4 or 5 I have dictated, correct? Interface used to achieve standardization, point number 1. Like that, how many points till now? First 4, then seven, including this, it is 7. 5 more are there, I guess, if I'm not wrong. 5 more rules of interfaces are there, approximately. Let me see. That tomorrow we will see. And maybe we will conclude the concept of interfaces if possible. Again. Immediately we'll switch to exception handling. So that is what I told. Every now and then, one concept will be getting over. It will be your part to revise properly, to attend all the drives by revising and get placed. Show me the offer letter, give me the sweets. That is still there. Copy this for today. We'll be stopping it here tomorrow as usual at 2:30. I'm sorry, 2 o'clock. I'll meet you and I'll continue. Until then, please do take care of yourselves. Please do take care of your families. Happy coding, keep smiling, and goodbye. Attendance. Yes, Preeti. If at all calculator 2 has sub method in it, you have to give body for that also. In my calculator, you have to give body for that also. But yes, the point is multiple inheritance is possible, Preeti.